This is Hollywood. Matías Bombal with you. Warner Brothers and writer-director George Miller continue his profitable franchise of Mad Max movies that began 36 years ago. Mad Max: Fury Road, presented in 3D in select theaters, is the latest look at one of action and science fiction's most enduring characters, this time embodied by actor Tom Hardy. This time it's likely only he and fellow rebel Furiosa, played by a head-shaven Charlize Theron, might be able to restore order. She's looking for her homeland, and Max is just trying to escape the imprisonment of the evil Immortan Joe, the ruler of a ruthless desert gang. Together, they form a teaming of necessity.
How do you know this place even exists?
I was born there.
So why'd you leave?
I didn't. I was taken as a child. Stolen.
You done this before?
Many times. Now that I drive a war rig, this is the best shot I'll ever have.
And them?
They're looking for hope.
What about you?
Redemption.
And she's going to find it or bust. The ladies in white are the brides of Immortan Joe, escaping the torment of slavery with hopes for a new life. 36 years ago, the first Mad Max, set in the Australian desert, was more down-to-earth visually than the series later became with its extreme look, which was a vision of the gifted production designer Graham Grace Walker, who developed this look in 1981 with Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, and further in 1985's Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. This look is the antithesis of what I personally visually enjoy in the movies. However, there's no denying that its original and much copied style in the far too often visited and overused theme of future dystopia is singular. Here's just what I'm talking about in an early scene where Max is still prisoner, and in this case, a hood ornament that will thrill fans of the franchise and no doubt pack the theaters where this is playing.
He turned his head, he looked me straight in the eye! He was scanning the horizon! No! I am awaited! I am awaited in Valhalla!
That actor brandishing the removable steering wheel is Nicholas Hoult, 25 years old, who is actually very good in this movie. He won screen attention as a youngster in the title role of the movie About a Boy in 2002 and has worked fairly consistently since then. Perhaps this will find him more A-list work. I must admit that the removable steering wheels on the remarkable Franken vehicles of the movie made me laugh, as I recall many silent movie comedies where the comedian would remove the wheel while driving and still seem to get where they are going. This movie's editing pace and use of color design is remarkable, and you are on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Here are some observations from the creator, writer, and director, George Miller, who spoke with us here at the MAB studios.
It was an opportunity to do what I attempted to do back then, but to use the new technologies and these amazing machines like the Edge and digital cameras that you could put anywhere, and being able to erase tracks and wires and stuff we could never do, or change the sky, or do all that stuff, and yet still do real world vehicles and people in chaos. That was a really fantastic opportunity, and also bring what I thought in the ways that I might have evolved as a filmmaker that I've learned along the way. We worked really, really hard to make sure that those loyal fans of the Mad Max movies will be satisfied, and more than satisfied. It's going to be an amplified experience. You have to do that 30 years later. It's going to be, I'm not going to say on steroids, but it's going to be very familiar on the one hand and unique also. It will be its own thing. And they'll get their thirst quenched. On the other hand, those who've never seen a Mad Max movie, never even heard of a Mad Max movie, it will experience it as a standalone experience and a wild, crazy ride. I'm sure of it.
And a wild, crazy ride it is. One of the ways that Miller pleases fans of the franchise are the little visual details that remind one of images or moments from some of his past movies, like a version of Max's famous car making a reappearance. Another treat is the actor that plays the principal antagonist, Immortan Joe. That's Hugh Keays-Byrne, originally from India. He began acting when he moved to Australia in 1973. He appeared in a pivotal role of the first Mad Max film, playing Toe Cutter, which really brought him international fame. Fitting that he should return. Tom Hardy continues to impress me with each role that he's in. His performance in Child 44 earlier this year and last year's The Drop prove his great talent beyond doubt, and he holds his own and proves that he was an excellent choice for an iconic Angry Max, even here amid the spectacle that could dwarf any actor. Miss Theron adds a great dynamic in her performance that keeps your eyes on her at all times. This movie was hard for me to watch and difficult for me really to share my thoughts about, for it is just the kind of movie I like the least. Yet, in this work, I make myself find aspects of craftsmanship worthy of praise from all facets of the movie industry, and watch and perhaps learn by new experience. This is a wild and exciting ride, causing for me to have that kind of nervous laughter that one can't control, like when you're riding a roller coaster. There's no escape until that ride is over. On that basis, this is the kind of audience crowd pleaser for which movies are made. The Motion Picture Association of America has given this an R rating. This is your pal, Matías Bombal, bidding you a fond farewell.